When you get hot, do you turn on the fan? Or turn on the TV to watch a show? Whenever you're hungry, do you heat up cold plates from the fridge in the microwave? If you've done any of these things, it means you've used electricity. So far, electricity has been an essential part of everyday living. Brownouts are an example of how reliant we are on electricity because we need it to function in the household and in work. However, climate change and global warming are a result of our overconsumption of energy, so it is vital that we find alternative sources that are less harmful to the environment. As biochemists, we need to develop ways to resolve the ongoing energy crisis that is widening the gap between the rich and the poor. Through further studying the sustainable energy sources we have and have yet to discover.
According to the International Trade Administration, the Philippines is facing a mounting energy crisis as the Malampaya natural gas fields, currently supplying 30% of Luzon's energy consumption, are expected to be depleted by 2024. The current sources of energy in the Philippines are mainly composed of coal, gas, and oil-based resources. However, these are finite sources that will one day be wiped out. These are also highly harmful to the environment because coal and fuel oil combustion emit fly ash particles into the atmosphere, which contribute to air pollution and depletion of the ozone layer. Moreover, the pollution in the air then results in acid rain and respiratory illnesses. But these aren't the only effects of the energy crisis.
As these non-renewable energy sources are nearly at depletion, the cost of energy and the cost of living continues to increase, leaving those with no money to spare helpless and poverty rates at an all-time high. According to Stephanie Hager, a population correspondent of BBC News, the richest half of the world are responsible for 86% of greenhouse gas emissions, and the poorest half produce only 14%. Although people who are poor are rarely the main cause of environmental harm, they are the ones that are forced into a vicious cycle where they deal with the fullness of such environmental and economic effects because they do not have the privilege to alleviate their current socioeconomic situation. For instance, the livelihood of underpaid and overworked Filipino farmers is constantly at risk of the unpredictable crop damaging weather caused by climate change.
As Tomatians and future biochemists, we need to find possible solutions on how to battle the ongoing energy crisis. One way is by switching to renewable energy. Renewable energy is energy derived from natural resources that are replenished at higher rates than they are consumed.
According to the United Nations Climate Action, in order to prevent the worst effects of climate change and global warming, we need to end our reliance on fossil fuels and invest in alternative sources of energy that are clean, accessible, affordable, sustainable, and reliable. Such sources exist in the form of renewable energy, which are available in abundance all around us, provided by the sun, wind, water, waste, and heat from the earth, and emit little to no greenhouse gases or pollutants into the air.
There are 5 major types of renewable energy used around the globe.
First, we have solar energy, which comes from the sun. Solar technologies convert sunlight into electrical energy either through photovoltaic panels or through mirrors that concentrate solar radiation. This energy can be used to generate electricity or be stored in batteries or thermal storage to be used for later.
Second, we have wind energy, which comes from the air around us. The kinetic energy produced by moving air or the wind is harnessed using a wind turbine, a device that channels the power of the wind to create wind energy, which then generates electricity.
Third, we have geothermal energy, which comes from the heat within the Earth's core. Geothermal resources can be produced from naturally occurring heat, rock, and water permeability, or through enhanced geothermal systems, which improve or create geothermal resources through a process called hydraulic stimulation. These geothermal resources, whether natural or enhanced, drive turbines linked to electricity generators.
Fourth, we have hydroelectric energy, which comes from the water sources. Hydroelectric energy or hydropower harnesses the power of water in motion, such as flowing water over a waterfall to generate electricity.
Lastly, we have biomass energy, which comes from plants and animals. Biomass energy is produced by living or once living organisms. The most common biomass materials used for energy are plants, such as corn and soy. The energy from these organisms can be burned to create heat or converted into electricity.
These five are called renewable energy because they are generated through sources that are replenished naturally.
Rather than relying on fossil fuels, integrating renewable energy is a better approach to a much more sustainable and safe future because it ensures that the energy needed by the people does not destroy the planet and the futures of everyone on it. Consequently, it alleviates the economic impact of energy scarcity and climate change on the lowest sectors of society. And as Tomasians and future biochemists, we have a duty to further study ways to make these forms of energy more attainable and readily producible.
There is no justice in implementing renewable energy if only those with privilege can afford to utilize and gain from renewable energy sources. In order for renewable energy to indeed be sustainable and be of help to everyone, it has to be affordable so that everyone can benefit from it.
Not only this, but further promoting and raising awareness on the benefits of renewable energy and using this to urge governments to invest in the research, production, and implementation of such is the only way for this drastic but essential shift to occur.
Participating in and advocating for community projects which promote climate action by encouraging the minimization of waste, the investment in energy-efficient appliances, and the utilization of low-cost and alternative energy would be helpful in the process of producing renewable energy, therefore helping the less fortunate and vulnerable people in the community.
The connection between green energy and enhancing livelihoods is evident in the way that renewable energy, as opposed to polluting finite resources, can also expand business prospects, improve health outcomes, and ensure future income creation, mitigating not only the effects of climate change but also helping those in poverty.
The current effects of the climate crisis continue to widen the gap between the rich and the poor. In spite of this, no group of people is above another. Thus, it is crucial that this gap between the rich and the poor induced by the climate crisis is resolved, because there exists a variety of methods for climate action, and it is up to us to apply them. Hence, by ending the energy crisis, we are one step closer to ending these inequalities brought about by environmental degradation.
Remember that within us exists the heart of God, a heart of gold, created in the image and likeness of Him. We are all born equal in the eyes of God.
We must fulfill our mission to be stewards of God's creation by using our role in society to contribute as future biochemists to the betterment of the world and its people, through ensuring that our human rights are protected and our environment is preserved. We help in creating a better, more peaceful, more harmonious world.
And as we aim to build a better world, we must protect each other's dignity. Let us join hands for the sake of all humanity, God's greatest creation.